What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Well, guys, Indianapolis Colts new free agent signing Cam Bynum finally joined the media yesterday on Monday. So, with that being said, guys, wanted to kind of listen to what Cam Bynum had to say. It was our first look into Cam Bynum, his introductory press conference / media availability. So wanted to listen to that and then give some of my thoughts on that. So without further ado, let's get into it, guys.
First impressions and just kind of how did you end up here? I'm sure you had an opportunity.
Yeah, we'll start first impressions. I love it so far. From the way they flew me here on a private jet for my first time, so I was acting like a little kid on there, doing a little photo shoot on there with my family, drinking orange juice. But yeah, just taking it all in. I think just the way that it's a family-ran organization, that's the first thing that I learned when I started, researching and talking to other guys, talking to Stephon Gilmore. He's one of the guys I reached out to just ask during the process of like, okay, what did you think about it? He said, for your type of personality, you're a family person, you're laid back, I think that's a place for you. And that's the first thing I saw when I got here, just how tight-knit everything is, how really just personable everybody is. That's something that stood out to me so far. And just my journey here was really going through the free agency thing. They reached out, and you could just tell that it was a team that was aggressive, and just the way that, you could tell when certain people truly want you. And just talking to my agent and everything, this is one of the places that they're really eager to get me. And also for me, hearing a lot of good things from, like I said, Gilly, my boy Shegu, came with me to the Philippines a few weeks ago and before free agency started, and that's something super random, but just hearing about it from him even before we knew this place was an option. And as soon as they came calling and sent an offer, I was like, okay, this is a really heavy option. And once everything fell down to it, this for sure, I know this is the place I need to be.
Okay, so a couple things there right off the bat. I love the fact that the Indianapolis Colts, like Cam Bynum said, they were aggressive in their pursuit of him, wanted to bring him in, and he's not the only one. Javarius Ward has also said very similar things about how the Colts made it very clear that they wanted him on their team, and they did what it took to get him, which is great. Shout out to the Stephon Gilmore, former Indianapolis Colt corner for one season, on helping him get that. And definitely just great to hear that the Indianapolis Colts did what it takes, number one, to get him, and then number two, to make him feel welcome. So great there. So definitely seems like there were some connections that Bynum had even previous to this on some guys, some former Colts and also some current Colts as well. So definitely some great first impressions there. And I just love his energy. I love Cam Bynum already. I can already tell he's a very energetic, upbeat guy, and that's the type of guy you want in your locker room.
You bring a lot of personality and flamboyance, which I'm sure that's attractive for the team. But
Right.
As a player, what do you bring and what do you hope to bring to the team?
Versatility, leadership. I think just everybody sees all the celebrations, everything that goes viral in the media, but a lot of people don't see the work behind it. I pride myself on being one of the hardest workers in the room, putting in so much extra work, being a leader, leading by example, not a super rah-rah guy, but somebody that's always going to be consistent, being in the right spots on the field, but also off the field, being somebody that's really locked in the meeting room and keeping my head down focused during the week. It doesn't seem like it because obviously I'm really out there in the media on Sundays, but during the week, I'm locked in because I want to be able to earn those moments to be able to have fun on the field on Sunday. So I think me as a player, versatility, somebody that's consistent, being in the right spots, being able to cover, being a former corner, comfortable in space, and somebody that's just always going to be able to get the ball. First and foremost, it's always about the ball. You get graded, you get paid based off of how many times you can touch the ball and take the ball away, and that's something that I've been able to do in my career and something that I'm confident that I'm going to be able to do and lose defense here and be able to really just gel with the guys and be a leader in the secondary. Even though it's my first year here, I think that just the way that I'll come in here, just being humble first and foremost, and being able to learn from anybody and everybody, but also being able to bring the knowledge and the leadership that I have by setting the example of the way I work. I think that's my best attribute that I bring here, is that I'll set an example of how we should work and how we need to really just be focused on a day-to-day basis.
Why is it important to have the personality, though, on game day? I mean, I realize you're celebrating something
Right.
Why has that always been important, or has it always been important to you?
Yeah, it's always been important since high school. That's something, obviously it's going viral now, but something I've always done, enjoying, especially on defense. It's hard to make plays, especially in this league. So when you do make a play and when you know that you put in so much work during the week, it's like, why wouldn't you take that time on Sunday when you do something great? You have to celebrate it. So being on a defense, I think that you have to bring that energy to the whole team. And I think if the defense is having fun flying around and you're making plays, you have to celebrate. And you only celebrate if you're making plays. So it's like a two-way street. A lot of people think you're just dancing for no reason. But in reality, if you make a turnover, you get a turnover, you get a reason to have that fun. So I just think that it's something that brings an extra energy and extra light to this team that really is contagious to special teams, contagious to the offense, and that leads to wins. Because we all know the stat. If you take the ball away, you win the turnover margin, you win the game 9 times out of 10. So I think that's something that is a big deal when people don't think about it, but the energy of a team and the whole stadium, momentum is a real thing. So I think that creates that in itself.
I know it's early, but what do you know about Lou's defense?
Just the way that we're really aggressive, but also little, I wouldn't say basic, but you still do routine things as far as a lot of match cover 3 and things like that. I don't want to get too deep into the scheme before we've even done an install, but just the way that you go out there and still able to play aggressive, but also be able to use every single guy in their own skill set. And I look forward to doing that, especially with my skill set, being able to cover, being able to play match coverage, but also be able to be aggressive with sending pressures and being somebody that can do it all in zones or in man, or being able to blitz and really having the versatile guys that we have in the secondary and so many good players. I think it'll be a really open playbook for Lou and what he does in his defense.
You mentioned Shagun?
Yes.
Alubi?
Yep.
How do you know him and what's the connection there?
Yeah, we went to high school together and trained together with Ground Zero, 7-on-7 team. So my coach really, way back then, we were trained together, and that's one of my guys, like one of my close friends, especially just seeing him now, the way that he's grown into the player. Had a tough road to get to the NFL, going undrafted, bouncing back from his college, and just being able to walk on and do everything. So we went to high school together, like I said, but he's always been somebody that I've been able to train with and be able to. He came to the Philippines with me to run my camp and give back to the communities out there. So that's somebody I consider a real friend, somebody that I've been knowing, like I said, since high school. So it's really cool being teammates with him, especially the type of person he is. He's a dog and a worker like myself, so we really relate.
Cam, you were in the Philippines when you agreed to terms here?
Yes, it was 4 a.m. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you walk us through that previous night? I mean, did you go to bed? Like, what? Can you walk us through?
Yeah, I didn't go to bed because obviously I knew that, dang, I have to make this decision today. I kind of had a different picture of free agency that, okay, these teams send you an offer, you get a few days to figure it out, do your research. But my agent's like, nah, we need to know in the next 10 minutes. I was like, all right. So get my parents on the phone. But had a long day of workouts and everything, just, my normal routine in the Philippines. And it opens up, I think, 9 o'clock over here in the U.S., and it was 1 a.m. for me when it opened up out there. So I just stayed up, had my phone on, agent, okay, we're prepared. Was just ready to accept any phone calls, whatever. But it was really I was just laying in bed. My wife was sitting right there, told her to record any phone call I get just in case it's the time that I agree or get an offer. So it was pretty chill just because, like I said, it was in the middle of the night. Ended up being 3, 4 a.m. by the time we ended up fully getting every offer from every team and weighing all the options. So it was just me sitting crisscross in my bed and waiting for all the calls to come in. So it was less eventful than I would have thought it would have been. But it was fun just being able to go through that process because it's something that it's everybody's dream to be able to get to the point where they can make it to their second contract.
And obviously, the Philippines means a ton to you. Could you share for Colts fans that don't realize the full story?
Yeah, so I'm half Filipino. My mom is full Filipino. My dad is African American, and I've been living ever since I got to the NFL. I've been living my whole off season in the Philippines. My wife is from there, and a few years ago, she finally got her visa to come here to the U.S. But in the off season, we spend all of our time there. So being able to do our nonprofit work out there and give back to the communities, and also do football camps to expand the game of football out there and develop players to be able to eventually, hopefully, play in the Olympics. So we do a little bit of everything out there. So that's really how I spend my whole life outside of football season. I'm there in the Philippines training people, giving back to the communities, and just living a completely off-the-grid life over there. And I love it. It's really two different types of lives I have, being in the NFL, being here, all the blessings that we have here, but also the blessing of the slow life over there in the Philippines, be able to be on the beach, go to different islands, and just be able to train with people that are wanting to learn the game and eager to learn. It makes me more grateful to play football here because we have people out there trying to rent a field at midnight. We're playing flag football games at midnight over there because that's the only time we can get in on a field, and it's cheaper, and it just makes me more grateful to come and live the life that I have here, being able to live in the Philippines.
The secondary that they're building here, they had another big signing last week.
Right.
What do you think? And then Kenny Moore is in the building already.
Yeah.
What do you think that unit can be?
I think we'll be great. I know we'll be great. I already talked to a few of the guys, and I know when Mooney came in here, he talked about the same thing, just the way that he's going to come in. He came in with that confidence. I watched his energy and just love that out of any corner, and especially talking to Kenny. And he's been somebody that I've looked up to for a while, watching his film and learning from him. And I know that this whole group, I've heard a lot of good things about them, but also watching the tape, it's like there's a lot of good stuff on tape. And I know when we come together and we put the work in that we know we're going to put in, I know that greatness is going to happen. And it's just a matter of how quick we can gel together and really get on the same page with each other and really become brothers on and off the field. And I think that's going to really create greatness for this defense. And the season goes how the secondary plays. And that's something I've seen year after year. If the secondary's balling, the whole team, it catches fire through the whole team, through the whole organization. So that's something that I want to be able to come in here, and that's the expectation that we have to have, all five of us DBs that will be on the field, 6, hopefully if we have more DBs on the field at a time. But when we're on the field, we need to know that the game goes exactly how we want to play. So I expect greatness out of us, and I know that there's going to be no problem when it comes down to putting the work in. And I think that the type of guys that we have and that organization has put together to create the secondary, I already know. I'm getting excited talking about it right now. I know we're going to be big time. But like I said, we got to work for it. But that's the expectation that I have, and I know they're thinking the same thing, that we're going to be great, and we're going to do whatever we can until we get to that point.
And this just doesn't come together. You have, like I said, the secondary. How do your celebration things? You got to work on that.
Yeah, you got to work on everything.
I mean, is that 1 hour on a Tuesday? How do you?
It's quick. It's more conversation than anything. Hey, let's do this. I'm thinking this, and it's quick. You obviously got to learn the defense every single week, learn a new install every single game. So learning a dance is nothing for some athletes. So I think people think we spend a lot more time on them because they look perfect when they're in the game because we know how to execute. So
secret right here is just you throw it together.
Yeah, you throw it together. You tell them an idea, send them some film on it, just like we do. Same process for football. You watch some film, you install it, and then you do it on the field. So same thing. You watch a few videos, practice it once, and you're good to go. But when you practice dance, that means you have to get a turnover. So when you get a turn, exactly, and the fact that if we're able to do a lot of dances, that means we made a lot of turnovers. That means we won a lot of games. So I think it's a direct correlation. But like I said, first and foremost, it comes to work. I don't think if we're not comfortable with the work we put in, we're not even going to think about the dance when it comes Sunday. So that's something we have to earn, and we have to be able to know that the work comes first, but that's also part of it, being able to enjoy the job and be able to enjoy the success that we expect ourselves to have.
In all seriousness, I mean, this is business, right? There's a lot of money involved in that, but is it important for football to be fun, too?
For sure. It's a game. It's a kid's game. I think people need to enjoy this, realizing that we're one of the 1% of the people that are blessed enough to have the talent, have the health, to be able to play in the NFL. So if you're not enjoying every single day, if you're not coming to the building excited to come to work, then this might not be for you, or it might not last very long, or you might have a miserable time being here. So I think just being able to enjoy it, and especially take the stress off of game day, being able to realize you earned your route, you earned your way to get to this game, to get to Sunday. You put in the work during the week, and if you can have fun on the weekend, why not? If you can play well enough to earn a celebration, to earn the fun that you're having, then why not? You worked hard, you put the work in, so why not reward yourself by being able to really celebrate something that you were able to do right? Because every single play you make is something that you saw on film, that you had to physically put the work in to earn that play. So if you're just letting those times go by and you not really enjoy that, you're not getting everything you can out of being in the NFL, and especially on the other side of it, fans love it, and it brings the fan base together, turns the building up. Now the offense can feed off the energy that we have from taking the ball away. Special teams are going to go out there and do their thing and turn up for the one play they have. So I just think it lights the whole team on fire, and I've seen it firsthand and what it can do for a team. And even talking to other players around the league saying, man, I wish we were like this. I'm like, and do it. It's like, enjoy the game, enjoy what you're blessed by God to be here with. So I just think that it's something that, for me, it's a necessity. We talked about in my former teams, we talk about we're on film, if you're not celebrating your teammates' good play, it's almost a fine. Like it's a big deal if you're not celebrating your success, because this is the NFL. People are getting paid millions of dollars to make you look bad. So if you can do something positive, you better celebrate it.
That's a unique one, because I'm curious about this. We got a lot of people here, so we've asked you a lot about yourself, but what did they mean to you? And I guess if you can go down the line if you want to, but just what does each person mean, even how they help you get to?
Yeah, my family, starting with my wife over there, just being able to be the person that's here with me back there, just through every single day of my life, now especially. Just being able to really be my supporter, the person that I go home to and have a good day or bad day, get the same energy from her of just somebody that's going to always support me no matter what. All my siblings that helped me get here, 4 siblings, so there's 5 kids total. So just people I grew up with that push me, that are my reason why I go hard, because I want to provide for us. And my 2 parents, mom and dad, just the people that were able to really sacrifice. My dad going to work every single day so my mom can be able to stay home and raise us, and so she didn't have to work, so she can be able to take care of all 5 kids and take me to my workouts. And then my trainer, the guy, Coach Brown right here, the guy that found me. I played for a 7-on-7 team, the one that I mentioned earlier, Ground Zero 7-on-7. And he saw me having a terrible tournament back when I was 5th string JV, giving up 5 touchdowns, 1 tournament, 5th string on JV my sophomore year. He said, see me at 5 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll get you to college. And showed up. I hated him for years, but he taught me how to be a technician, taught me how to approach the game the right way. We didn't work out with the football for years. It was all rhythm work, technique, everything. He said, you're not going to be able to pick the ball off until you can master your footwork, until you can get the technique to put yourself in position to make a play. And that's something, so I've been training with him since sophomore year of high school, and I couldn't sign with this team without having him here. So he's been a key to my success, and somebody that a lot of people get to the NFL and find new trainers because they're popular, but it's been my guy since day one that found me and told me, you show up, you'll be great. And I'll go a little longer, funny story. His daughter was like, why do you keep showing up? This kid's trash. He said, because she would come with him to all the workouts. And he would say, I'm going to show up as long as he shows up. He keeps showing up, I have to show up. And both of us kept showing up 5 a.m. before school every single day. Then right after school, right after practice, going for a night workout, do the same thing. This is years in the making, 5 a.m.s. And through high school, I come home from college. He flies up to college to come train me. Same thing. He comes to the Philippines, out to the Philippines to train me, run my camps and everything. So he's been with me every part of the way. And he gets a long speech, but this is a football thing, so I had to give you guys the long football speech. But I could have given a long speech for every person in my family that's been here, but just my support system means everything. And but first and foremost, my faith in Jesus. My parents gave me that foundation just to really take my faith serious and really have a personal relationship with the Lord. And that's something that's driven me just through my whole life, being able to keep my head straight and stay humble and keep me grounded in that. Because I think if you don't have that, then none of this stuff would be. I don't think I'd be here. I know I wouldn't be here without it, but I wouldn't be able to enjoy it as much because I'm so grateful because I know what life could be without it. So, yeah.
Everybody enjoyed the jet flight over here. Then everybody.
Oh yeah, we are all. Can I extra orange juice, please? Extra cookies. It's for free. We took everything. Then they had Filipino food on the. They had a Filipino menu on the plane. So I'm like, I'm home. they know me. They did their homework.
Private jet ride all the time.
Exactly. We can't do it. I said, this is the one and only we get. We better take advantage. Need a few more contracts to get one. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
All right, that was Cam Bynum, new Indianapolis Colts free safety. A lot of good stuff there from Bynum. Man, I just got to say, I love his energy. I love just his attitude, his outlook on life. It's great. It's absolutely infectious, and you can tell why he was the guy that led those dances because he's just got that infectious personality. And I just love the attitude that he's going to bring. Him and Charvarius Ward are going to bring to this secondary. And just having that type of attitude, I think, is just awesome. And, just kind of like almost like childlike wonder a little bit. I just love that. Like, I just love that type of personality that he brings. And definitely a guy that's not just going to talk, but it's going to work and it's going to put his head down. And that's what he's had to do for a good chunk of his life. And just an all-around seems like a great guy, great player from what we've seen. And I'm really just excited. I'm stoked to see him and Charvarius Ward in that secondary. I think it's going to do wonders. And just bringing some outside, fresh perspective, I think it's going to do wonders for this unit. So I'm really excited to see him in a Colts uniform. And it's cool to see the Colts doing things to accommodate him and his family. That's always awesome to see. But yeah, guys, that was Cam Bynum, new Indianapolis Colts safety. His thoughts there on Indianapolis, on the free agency process, all that stuff, a little bit of background about him. So let me know your guys' thoughts on Cam Bynum. What were your thoughts on just the things that he said? Let me know all those things in the comments down below. But guys, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, guys, go Colts.